Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a cartoon that surprised the shit out of me. It's a 6-episode season, season 1 for right now. Apparently there is a season 2 coming. I assume that's coming in 2024. I don't know. But this show came out last October in 2022. I'm just now watching it in November of 2023 in a mad dash panic before the last couple of days of my Disney Plus account being active are over. So here I am talking about Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. And again, this is season 1, 6 episodes. This show surprised the shit out of me. Let me tell you that much. First and foremost, let me cover some of the history of Star Wars cartoons and the CGI 3D stuff. First and foremost, I love the original Clone Wars cartoon from Genndy Tartakovsky. I think it's fantastic. Loved it, grew up on it. It has more in common. This show has more in common with that show than something like its next upcoming event, which was the remake, revamp, whatever, of Clone Wars. That show, of course, has the beginning of the CGI animation that Lucasfilm were doing before Disney bought Star Wars. And then when Disney bought Star Wars, they did Rebels, and Rebels sucked compared to either of the Clone Wars cartoons. I watched 2 seasons of it, I never made it any further. Still don't know how it ends, I don't know any spoilers about the rest of the show. But they had to do everything they could to cock-tease you into watching season 2 of that show because of how rough Rebels was. Everything from the toothpick lightsabers to just everything. And then we eventually had this. Of course, Disney also finished up Clone Wars season, 7, 8, something like that. But then you had this. Tales of the Jedi, I saw advertised, and as soon as I saw some of the things in the trailer, I was really excited for this. I started to see clips here and there. And the episodes zoom by. They're very rushed, very fast-paced, and the show itself, even though it's only 6 episodes long, it's kind of divided up in this season, being anthological, somewhere in the time frame between episode 1 and episode 3, and the events therein, while following 2 different characters that you'll know very, very well if you happen to be a fan of just the cartoons and the movies and everything else. Dave Filoni was involved with this show as well. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi mainly focuses on Ahsoka Tano and Count Dooku. And I love both of these characters, so I was really excited for this. I love the CG animation that you also have for other shows like Bad Batch, which I haven't seen, and I guess there was other ones that I missed too. Anyway, I was very impressed. I'm not a fan of Disney, not a fucking fan of what they've done to Star Wars, I'm not a fan of how they shit on fans, how they've ruined people's lives like Gina Carano. I fucking hate this company, plain and simple. Let me tell you though, Tales of the Jedi was very impressive. If you're looking for more of Star Wars, focused on Jedi and Sith, and even Jedi to Jedi confrontation, anything like that. If you love Ahsoka, if you love Count Dooku, any of those things, especially if you love the Clone Wars cartoons, because they have the same voice actors coming back for both Ahsoka, I think it's Ashley Eckstein, whatever her name is, and the guy who played Count Dooku, all of the things you could love about this are there, pretty much. But let me tell you, I have my nitpicks. It's not a perfect show. It's really good for what it is. I can't wait to see what season 2 will be. If we're going to jump forward to like Luke Skywalker, or we're going to focus on like past stuff. I don't know what we're going to do. But whatever they did here, they need to continue for season 2. Don't change shit. Don't do anything to just fuck around with the method here. Stick to the formula of doing short stories, anthological, every episode kind of stand on its own type of thing. That's what they need. They need to focus on that because that really made this show come to life. Now, to get to my complaints, there is one episode in the entire season I do not like at all. That is the first episode, where we focus on Ahsoka Tano when she had just been born. We're focusing on her village and her past and her being a fucking baby in the episode, and I hate it. I fucking hate it. I went into the show thinking the entire season would be about Count Dooku. It is not. The Ahsoka stuff later on is not so bad. The finale of the season's kind of weak. It involves Ahsoka's storyline, but it wasn't bad. It had some good moments. The Count Dooku stuff in this season was phenomenal. Of course, it was before he was even Count Dooku. He was just Jedi Master Dooku. Before he even talked to Emperor Palpatine, whatever you want to call him. He's not an emperor at that point, but you know what I mean, Darth Sidious. Before he really got tied up in with him, once upon a time, he was Qui-Gon Jinn's master. They even have Qui-Gon Jinn in the first episode of Count Dooku, which is episode 2 of the show, hanging out with him, going on a mission. And he's not played by Liam Neeson, but he's played by Liam Neeson's son. I want to say it's Michael Neeson, but it might be like Mihail Neeson. I don't know how to say it exactly. I'm an Irishman, but I'm not Irish enough to be able to say that, or Scottish, whatever they are. I'm both of those. But anyway, if there is a difference, let's be honest with ourselves. Anyway, so I was excited to see more Qui-Gon Jinn because I read a comic book series a long time ago, a few years ago, that I loved. It was from Dark Horse Comics, I believe. It was also called Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, and it was just about Qui-Gon Jinn for like 4 or 6 issues on its run, for what I read at least. There might be more aside from that. But what I did read, I loved it. And that was one of the best Qui-Gon Jinn stories I've ever experienced in my life. It just brought that character to life from episode 1 that I've loved for so long. But this show did more with him as an apprentice, as I guess he's a Jedi Knight in this part of the show, I don't know. But watching Count and Qui-Gon Jinn kind of grow as characters was really cool. Watching some of the stuff that Ahsoka went through for some of her training, and kind of her confrontations with Anakin Skywalker, her master, at one point, before she became the Ahsoka that we know, that we all love from like season 3 of the Clone Wars show onward. This show really nails it and does some really good stuff with Ahsoka and Count Dooku's past, and I love that about it. It really, really nailed that. If you love either of those characters or both of those characters and their respective actors that play them so well in the Clone Wars cartoon that came back for this, I think you'll have an amazing time. There's really fun lightsabers things, there's really fun action set pieces, some great tension, some really great dark writing that I didn't expect for this show because it's fucking Disney. The fact that they made this cartoon series more dark than the sequel trilogy, that should have had a lot of more darkness to it, I would say, than the goofy, silly MCU humor-filled shit that we got. I am so impressed with this show. This shows that Disney, somewhere deep down, could do something good with Star Wars. But they just suck ass so much. They have to be so politically involved that they just can't make something that's not politically involved anymore. And it's a shame, because this was really solid. I'd recommend this to anybody who's a big Star Wars fan. Even if you haven't seen the Clone Wars show, you can find some kind of enjoyment in here with the aspects that you don't know about. There's a lot of really cool ties to Attack of the Clones and Strikes Back, Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones that I loved. I thought those were really cool expansions upon moments we had known about, but we'd never actually seen what happened in those times from those old movies from 20 years ago. That stuff was fucking cool, and I loved it. I loved every minute of that. The CGI animation looks really good. I wish there was more of it, frankly. I wish we had a longer season. I'm hoping season 2 will have like 10 episodes or something. But it looks good. The animation is kind of sharp, just like the original Clone Wars remake, revamp, whatever you want to call that the Lucasfilm did pre-Disney. But I love that look to it. It looks better than Rebels. It doesn't look cheap. There's no lightsaber toothpicks bullshit. It looks great. It looks great. The voice acting, the acting in general, is just wonderful. It fits so well alongside the amazing score they made for this show. Tales of the Jedi is like it's made from a different company. A lot of people give Dave Filoni that prop, and I understand why. But Dave Filoni also gave you the first Clone Wars movie, which was fucking crap. And it inspired the show to have 2 seasons of fucking crap before it became what we know to be so good in Star Wars. You can give Filoni that credit if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to or not, but if you want to, you can give him that credit. But this show and his obsession with Ahsoka Tano is a great example of why I have issues with Dave Filoni. He's a good creator, a really good Star Wars creator, I mean that. But I don't know how much credit I give him, because it seems like very easily the guy could flip the coin and become bad, with anything he does. But at the end of the day, I really respected this, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I took out some time before work today to finish up the 6 episodes, because I had a really good time. And it kind of made my day a little bit. My day was kind of shit at work, and I really didn't have fun until I got to come home and see my wife and hang out with her for a little while. But I watched this before work, and it really set my day off on a good note because of how enjoyable this was. I couldn't stop watching it when I really got into it today, because I watched episode 1 like a few days ago and did not like it. And then I started watching everything else, and I loved it. The Count Dooku stuff and all of that really make the show worthwhile, in my opinion, like I said. But aside from all the things I complimented, again, it's not amazing, but it is really good for what it is if you're willing to give it a shot and try it out. An anthology show is not going to be for everybody. Not everyone is going to enjoy that. Very much like another Star Wars cartoon that I think came out the year before this in 2021 called Star Wars Visions, that now has 2 seasons of like 18 episodes, 18 shorts, whatever you want to call it. Kind of the same idea as this, but more in the Genndy Tartakovsky nature, if you will. Visions is different from this, but this is more in the line of people who like Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, all of that stuff. If you love those things, I think I can't tell you not to check this out. But if you love prequel era Star Wars stuff from back in the day, this feels like Lucas was actually involved. And he's not, but it feels like it, which is a really, really important thing and an important charm, I think. I wish this got a DVD release because I would put it in my collection immediately. Fuck shit like Book of Boba Fett, fuck Mandalorian, fuck all that crap. It would be things like Tales of the Jedi that I would put in my collection, on my DVDs and box sets of TV and all of that. Anyway, when it comes to Star Wars, Tales of the Jedi Season 1, excuse me. I'm reading comics right now again, so that's messing with me. If I had to rate Season 1 of this show, again, it has its flaws, it has some issues, but I would still give this a 4 out of 5 stars. It's really strong, it's very engaging, it's really enjoyable, and really touching and sad sometimes too, because of some of the really cool things that are done here. You might have background characters like Yaddle from the Jedi Council that are involved here more. That was cool. It was good to see things like that brought to the front. Seeing expansions on things like Padme's funeral, for example. That might be a small spoiler that they even cover that in here. But the expansions on things like that made it even better. Now every time I watch Revenge of the Sith, I'm going to be thinking about this show. They did so many things so correctly here. It just hurts to think about how Disney have fucked up so bad in so many ways that they could have done something so respectful and good like this, whether it be in live action or in CGI like this is. But anyway, 4 out of 5 stars for Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Season 1. I cannot wait for Season 2. I will sign right back up for Disney Plus, as much as I hate that company, just to see Season 2. I don't care about anything else on the streaming service, but I will absolutely be there for Tales of the Jedi Season 2. This is so good. I recommend it. Please, for the love of God, check it out. Check it out, man. Anyway, have you seen it? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about it down in the comment section down below. Let me know everything you have to say about it. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.